taken out of your busy schedule, as we have the opportunity, as we do every second Tuesday of each month, to bring opportunities, awareness, and what we call a face to opportunities with different agencies and the leaderships that run those agencies. So today we have the privilege of talking to representatives from the tollway, and I'm not going to say too much until we get started. I'm just going to open the meeting first as usual, but why it's a great opportunity is because, as most of you know, with the tollway, they are this independent body that has a great amount of work as well as resources for businesses. So we have the leadership, which we will introduce later. But for right now, before we start, let us put the agenda up. Can someone do that for me? I should know the agenda by heart, but I'm getting older. So when you get old age.
Our beautiful little agenda.
There we go.
She is.
All right. So according to this agenda, Ms. Atkins, you're supposed to call the meeting to order.
Yep, and we've done that. The meeting is being recorded and we are officially in the meeting.
Okay.
Welcome to everybody.
So let's do this. If Gwen were here, she would offer us a moment of silence. And we do that just to calm ourselves down and to remember, one, that as business owners, we're here, we're surviving as a organization, having the privilege to work with a lot of you as business owners. The tenacity is so impressive and the resilience is impressive. So we're always going to just take a moment of silence to reflect on your ability to continue to grow, which changes a community. So we'll just take 60 seconds of silence. And because I didn't get my timer on, I'm going to think that's up now. So again, welcome to today's business meeting. Let me start off with, and I think Jennifer has some highlights too, but let me just remind you, one of the reasons we're here is that Chatham Business Association has the privilege of being a SBA Community Navigators, part of the pilot program. And what that means is that as a navigator, we are contracted with the federal government, the Biden-Harris administration, and our goal is to make sure that technical assistance marries contract opportunities on a state and federal level by any means necessary. And what that means is that as you identify your path, if you need help with certification, if you need help with funding, if you just need help in figuring out how to maneuver, if you're a veteran, our job is to be your cheering team, your coach team. And as a hub, we have assembled a great group of spokes, and many of them are on this call. So I'm going to ask them to say hello as I identify them. So for instance, I saw Bruce Montgomery. Bruce, say the name of your company and sort of what you do as a spoke. Okay. He is on mute. What about Vanessa? Can you hear me, Vanessa?
Oh, did you call my name?
Yeah.
I did, Bruce.
And what did you want me to do?
Introduce yourself as a spoke, the name of your company and what you've done.
Okay, I just stepped away for a moment. Good morning, everyone. This is Bruce Montgomery. I am a proud member of this SBA Navigator pilot program, which we are well into our second year. I am the founder and CEO of an organization, the Entrepreneur Success Program, which serves this team in areas of strategic business advice and development. We've had great success with outreach events and engaging the community and working with our individual clients. So both as an individual organization and as a team member, we've had a lot of success in, as Melinda said earlier, working with our steadfast and resilient entrepreneurs that are determined to be successful, to take advantage of resources. And in this role with the SBA, we're connecting them not only to federal resources, but to state and local resources like the Illinois Tollway and IDOT and other areas where federal dollars are bringing contract opportunities to our businesses, and our businesses desperately want to be involved in those contract opportunities, not just in construction, but in a wide range of professional services and value-added solutions. So happy to be here this morning and look forward to hearing from the leadership, the phenomenal leadership of the Tollway that is does such a great job with not only the contracting, but with the support services for entrepreneurs. And again, not just in construction, but in the professional services area as well. Thank you.
Vanessa Talaferro, I think I saw your name.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vanessa Talaferro with AdB Business Consulting, Inc. And our business is also a member of, spoke with the SBA Community Navigator Program. And so we are excited to be working with Chatham Business over the last few years and working with many businesses throughout the city of Chicago. Our work involves applying for the certifications, whether it's through the city, state, or federal government certifications. And we're also big on helping organizations, companies build their capacity through finding access to resources, ensuring that you have the proper infrastructure or accounting systems in place. We've worked with various lending institutions to help our clients apply for working lines of capital. And so we're excited to be a part of this and to learn how we can be of further assistance to any of you on the call.
Okay. And before I go to getting the minutes, I would also ask the board of directors to introduce themselves. I saw Carl Riley. Carl, you want to start? Or maybe I didn't see him. Okay.
He should be on.
Let me do this. Everybody's on mute. Are they on there voluntarily, or do we put them on there?
Yeah, everybody's automatically on mute once they join.
I get it. Okay, so what we'll do is then I'll go ahead and do the reading of the minutes, and we'll need to get those approved, and then we will unmute everybody. And what I would like to do is let everybody introduce themselves so that the presenters know who's in the room and who they're talking to. And so you would say your name and your type of business. But can I have the minutes pulled up so I could
You got him charged.
Yep, one moment.
Charles, if you need a minute, I can you got it? Thank you. This team that I work with, this staff, I don't know if you know, from Jennifer to Beverly to Gloria to Charles, they're just phenomenal. So at the end, we will, and I so appreciate you. So if we will read these minutes in silence, and unless someone objects or has a change, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to speed read. And then I am going to ask that the minutes become part of the record and ask and put the motion forward and see if I can get a second. So I am moving that the minutes are correct and they should become moved to be a part of the record. Can I get?
Second.
Someone needs to unmute.
I second.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Sean seconded.
Thank you, Sean.
No problem.
So the minutes are become part of the record. And can I go back to the agenda? Well, you know what? I don't need to do that. Let me start with the introductions. If you would take it down and then there you go. So I can see. There you go. Thank you so much. Carl, would you like to introduce yourself as a board member right quick first? Now that I can see
Sure.
people?
Yeah, sure. Good morning. Sorry, everybody. A lot going on today, but my name is Carl Riley. I'm Fifth Third Bank, and I do small business community lending. So the board 5+ years, and I support the team. If you guys have any questions about banking or anything like that, I will advise you and tell you, what I can do, and then also who others can do, what other people can do to help you too. So thank you for being a part of this organization and supporting.
He said, thank you for supporting us. Sean? From PNC Bank?
Yep,
Hi,
Sean Boone, PNC business banker, so small business lending, accounts and credit and whatnot. Thank you guys for being here and so like that.
And whenever Gwen gets her audio in, we'll let her chime in. She usually does it so much better than I, but I am going to fill in the best I can. So, and then I also want her to introduce herself if we can get to her. So, Roberta Anderson, can you unmute and introduce yourself, your name and your company? Roberta?
Hello, Roberta Anderson with New City Trucking.
Thank you and welcome. Can I get Joyce Guy to unmute and introduce yourself? I'm going to come back. Tracy Bailey, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Hi, Tracy Bailey, President and owner B Square Consulting Group, LLC. I work in the area of workforce organization and business development. Great to see you all this morning.
Thank you for joining us. I do know Joyce has a snow removal company, so maybe she'll chime in later. What about Christian Ivy? Can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes, my name is Christian Ivy, account manager in business development for William Everett. We are a full service IT consulting and management consulting firm. I'm happy to be here today, learn a lot.
Thank you for joining us. Linnea Griffin, will you unmute and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Melinda. This is Lania Griffin, a member of Chatham Business Association, also the owner and CEO of Acclaim Collier Engineering. We do project and program management as well as construction management services. Nice to see you all today.
Thank you for joining us as you do every month. Jessica Maxey, and it's hyphenated, Faulkner. There it goes. Will you unmute and introduce yourself? Good morning. I'm unable to unmute. She's workforce development for HNTB. Okay, we got it, Jessica. Thank you. Leatrice Arnold Golston, can you unmute?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Latrice Arnold Golston. I am the CEO of Elmay Trucking Services, and we concentrate on post-construction debris removal.
Thank you for joining us. Lily Hashem. Lily, it looks like you're already unmuted. I'm going to come back. Patience.
Hi, I'm Patience Bolak. I am a project manager with Transland Engineering. We do construction management services. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Lily says she cannot unmute. So Lily, put your information in the chat and we'll read it. Angela Hobson, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Angelia Hobson, president of She Consulting Group. We are a safety, health, and environmental consulting group that supports the construction industry. So for larger organizations, we come in and help augment their teams if they need help. For smaller subcontractors, we write their safety plans, develop their plans, and are their internal safety person on construction projects.
Thank you and welcome. Jessica, can you unmute and introduce yourself? What about Christian Bennett? Can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Kristen Bennett, General Manager of Diversity at the Illinois Tollway. Good to see everyone.
Thank you for coming. Marina? Perez? Okay, it's trying. We'll come back. I'm gonna let Deandra Reed introduce themselves. I'll be back, Lorena.
Yes, I'm DeAndre Red. We are partners in Carry Red Technologies. We specialize, or we're 100% disabled veteran-owned business. We specialize in computer technology, cybersecurity, and data privacy.
And I'm going to ask while we're doing introductions, if you all would be so kind as to put your information, your company in the chat. Obviously you register, so we have your email, but just put your name and your company in the chat. That way we can make sure we get any information to you we need to. Moore, I think it's Siobhan. I can't see this screen.
Good
Siobhan
morning.
Moore.
Siobhan
Yes.
Moore. I'm with the Illinois Tollway Diversity and Strategic Department. I am a DBE program manager.
Okay, thank you. They brought the family. We like that. There is a phone number, 630-866. Will you unmute and identify yourself? There's another phone number, 630-770. And we get nervous when we have phone numbers that won't identify themselves.
I know Marlene Vick, our Deputy Chief in Diversity, is on the phone, but she is unable to unmute, but she is one of the phone numbers on there.
Okay, then we won't disconnect her. Let's see. Let me go back. So my screen won't go back. So
I would like to announce myself.
please.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Angela Green, and I am a minority business owner. I am a female owner of CJ's Towing and Recovery. I'm the first African-American to own a tow truck company as a female. And I also own a mobile car wash called Calumet Transport and Cleaning.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that I did not get? Feel free to unmute yourself and give us your name and your company. And if you can't unmute yourself, that's fine. We'll leave some room at the end. What we'll do is just pretty much go ahead and get started. I believe Gwen has the bios and she still can't unmute herself. Is that correct? So, having said that, the presenters are able to introduce themselves and tell you all about themselves and the information. So having said that, Cassandra, should I start with you or?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you, Melinda. All right. Well, first I'd like to say good morning to the Chatham Business Association, all the members and firms that are represented on the call today. As the executive director for the Illinois Tollway, again, I'm just excited. I bring you greetings from our board chairman, Arnie Rivera, as well as our entire board at the Illinois Tollway. And in absence of having the prepared bios, as Melinda stated, Terry and I, of course, I'm joined here with Terry Miller. He's our Chief of Diversity and Strategic Development. And we will just kind of lead off with just a little bit, I like to start with myself. It's really great to actually be talking to, I call, my community. I'm actually a Southsider. Grew up in the public school system, went to Morgan Park High School, a graduate of Howard University. Definitely like to, send my HBCU love and really, thankful for the HBCU experience. And I'm really excited about this opportunity to lead as executive director. I've been with the Illinois Tollway for 11 years. I've served in a variety of positions. I started off as the Chief of Internal Audit and most recently the Chief Operating Officer before taking on the helm as executive director. And as executive director, I'm really responsible for the day-to-day operations of the Tollway,
And really excited too to be a part of just driving the continued success of the tollway as we deliver on some of the more significant infrastructure investments in the Illinois region. And I'll just kind of stop here and just, turn it over to Terry for introductions before we, kind of launch off with our presentation this morning. Terry?
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. My name is Terry Miller. I'm Chief of Diversity and Strategic Development. My background is both in law and finance. Before I did this, I regulated stock markets. And I can tell you, I thought stock market regulation was difficult and challenging since they move 24 hours a day. However, roads move all the time as well. And the most important thing that we can do when we build roads is make sure that we build them fairly, equitably, and with a sense to doing justice to the communities they touch. So I'm actually very, very pleased to be here and very pleased to talk about the programs that we have to offer at the tollway. The thing I'd like to make sure I end with is this, that this is not a one and done conversation. This is a conversation where I hope it lasts and lasts and lasts for duration. So please feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out my staff. You'll notice that they are here in force. The name that couldn't introduce herself, Lily Hashem, is going to be very important to everyone because she is my EA and she is the sort of lord of my calendar. So I want to make sure that everyone knows that if you want to reach out to us, we are here. We are here. We are here. So that's my hello to everyone. Thank you for having me, and I'm very fortunate to be here this morning with all of you. Back to you, Cassandra.
Thank you, Terry. So Melinda, should I get started with the presentation this morning? Great, thank you. So this morning, we are here to present the information, give you a few highlights of what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you an overview of the Move Illinois Capital Program, highlights of projects completed and currently underway. We're going to talk about, building the workforce, and then move on to the vast diversity programs that the tollway offers, and then open it up for Q&A because we'd like to, of course, hear from you. So at this point, I want to just kind of start off on the presentation and just give you a little background on the Illinois Tollway. Today, Terry and we will discuss the Tollway's Move Illinois Capital Program and how our $15 billion investment is supporting communities, customers, and businesses. Now, the Illinois Tollway serves as a hub for one of the nation's largest and most dynamic transportation networks. It connects the nation's second largest rail network. We support 3 international airports, and we play a significant role as part of the statewide roadway system that ranks 3rd in most interstate miles and routes. Now, the tollway is a user-free system. We receive no federal or state dollars to support the maintenance and operation of the tollway system. So really, only those who use the system pay for it. And of course, we are separate from the Illinois Department of Transportation. And given that we do not receive federal funding, only user pay system, not an appropriated agency. And so overall, just to give you a footprint of what we're responsible for, again, responsible for the construction, the operation, regulation, and maintenance of a system of toll highways within Northern Illinois. We have 5 roadways that span 294 miles in 12 counties across Northern Illinois. Our 5 roadways are the Tri-State Tollway, which is the I-294, I-94, I-80. We have the James Memorial Tollway, which is I-90. We have the Reagan Memorial Tollway, which is I-88. And then we have the Veterans Memorial Tollway, I-355, and then the Illinois Route 390 Tollway. And overall, our mission is to provide and promote a safe and efficient system of highways to ensure the highest possible level of customer service to our customers. And we can move to slide 2. Thank you. On this slide, I want to talk a little bit about our Move Illinois Capital Program goals. Now, the Move Illinois program is a 15-year program, $14 billion. And again, the goal of building a 21st century transportation system, which is the foundation of our regional economy while saving drivers time and money.
Now, this program, we are not only taking care of the existing needs of our system, but we're also expanding the system to meet the needs of the region's future. Now, what we're doing, and we're very intentional about this, and that is delivering this program with diversity, equity, inclusion in mind, while working to ensure that the work and improvements made have made a minimal impact on the environment. Now, as we look at 2023, this is the 12th year of our program, the biggest construction year of our program, and we have invested so far more than $10.3 billion thus far. And this year we have a $1.5 billion capital program budget. Now, since the inception of our capital program, our investments have created or sustained nearly 122,000 jobs, and more than 800 construction and professional service contracts have been awarded with our Move Illinois program. Slide 3, please. On this slide, I want to talk a little bit about what projects we have completed. The tollway, again, is a critical component of the state's transportation network. And in this capital program, we have already completed some significant projects. The James Adams Memorial Tollway project, which is I-90, we've had a rebuilding and widening project. We have rebuilt and widened as a 21st century state-of-the-art corridor, which links the Chicago Rockford International Airport to O'Hare International Airport. This is 62 miles of access, and it spans across 32 communities and 6 counties. When we move on to our Illinois Route 390 tollway, this is the first part of the Elgin O'Hare Western Access Project, and it is 10 miles of new and improved roadway from Lake Street to I-290, extending to east to Illinois Route 83. Now, this project features 6 new or improved interchanges and 27 local road improvements and 13 miles of frontage roads. Coupled with the new I-490 tollway, this will create western access into O'Hare Airport. And I'll talk a little bit later about this particular project, because this project is a project that we always title as one of regional significance, given the economic impacts that this project will bring to the region. And another project that we completed is the I-294, I-57 interchange project. And this project serves more than 76,000 daily vehicles with access along 2 interstates. So in September of 2022, the tollway opened the final ramps to provide full access at the Tri-State Tollway I-294, I-57 interchange. This project was delivered 2 years ahead of schedule. It was a $719 million project built in partnership with the Illinois Department of Transportation. And what it does is delivers a new gateway for commerce and economic development in the Chicago Southland region. Now, construction on the interchange was completed in 2 phases, and the first phase completed in 2014, and it provided access to and from Champaign via 2 ramps, and the second phase provided access to and from Chicago via 4 new ramps. So let's move on to slide 4, and I'll talk about some of our current projects. So this year we are continuing to work on 2 of our biggest and most complex projects. One being the $4 billion I-294 Central Tri-State project and the new I-490 tollway. The Central Tri-State is being reconstructed and widened from Balmoral Avenue to 95th Street to provide congestion relief. It's also reconstructing old infrastructure to meet current and future transportation demand and address the regional needs. Construction in the middle of the 22-mile long-range project is kicking into high gear this year. You'll see it as this is heavy high construction season right now as you may be traveling across 294. What you'll also see is on the new I-490 tollway, which is our other big project, together with the Illinois Route 390 tollway, the tollway is creating what we call western access into O'Hare Airport. Now, this pivotal project will connect businesses, communities with transit facilities, and then also connect major freight transportation hubs and distribution centers. Now, our work will continue to focus on delivery of 3 massive interchanges connecting the new tollway to Illinois Route 390, I-90, and I-294. Now, as we move to slide 5, I want to also talk about building our future workforce. Now, one of the opportunities that this capital program grants us is the ability to share its significance with the next generation. And it's not just an opportunity, it's really our obligation. And we recognize the need to address the pipeline of our future workforce. As a public agency, we are being very intentional with our actions, encouraging students to consider their future options. So in April, the Tollway invited high school students for a boots on the ground tour of some of our major project sites. They visited the I-490 Tollway project, the 87th and Roberts Road Bridge project, and the I-290 I-88 interchange project. So we had students that were enrolled in engineering related coursework from Elk Grove Village, the Homewood Flossmoor Community High School. We had King College Prep High School in Chicago, and they met with tollway engineering and industry professionals who gave the students an overview of the projects and discussed the various roles that people play in building or reconstructing roads and bridges. And when I tell you that we had such a talented group of high school students out, from freshmen to seniors, some eyes opened into just fields within transportation that they never knew about, and just really just eye-opening to just what entrepreneurial opportunities exist too, that they were not necessarily aware of. They had the chance to ask questions and see really where the work occurred on two of our most significant and, again, most complex tollway projects in the agency's history. And to give you just an overview of that, they had a chance to look at our 87th Street and Roberts Road project, and they had a chance to tour the new bridges that span the roadways and the entire intersections. They observed ongoing construction activity, including local road improvements. They got a chance to see pavement removal, and then installation of protective shielding on the bridge. And then at our I-290 I-88 interchange, students viewed new ramp construction that was occurring. They also had a chance to view I-490 tollway project, which took them to looking at how new ramps would connect to I-490 to I-90, and the multi-span bridge that would carry I-490 traffic over the Toohey Avenue Reservoir. So what I'll say firsthand is it's really gave students access to what real world construction projects look like right in their backyards. And really what we found, it's the best way to inspire their ambitions and allow them to see opportunities to potential careers. So it's really essential to have our engineers and our planners engage with the next generation of transportation professionals to really introduce them to what entrepreneurial and employment opportunities exist. And many of firms here that are represented, I'm sure you can, probably reflect back on, what encouraged you to start your business, and maybe how beneficial it would have been even earlier in your careers and as you were coming through high school to be introduced to some of these opportunities that we as a tollway and through our industry partners are, introducing, young minds to. And really what we've understood is that, frankly, the future of our industry really depends on it. So now I'll move to slide 6. Inclusion really is the foundation. So the Tollways Diversity Department is a driving force for increasing economic opportunities in the diverse communities served by the Tollway. And inclusion, the meaningful participation by diverse women and veteran-owned firms really is the key to growing the next generation of companies that will build and maintain our roads and infrastructure for decades to come. So really that's why our tollway diversity programs and initiatives are designed with 3 goals in mind. First, to provide greater access for firms interested and capable of performing on tollway contracts. Next, to increase meaningful capacity building opportunities and for companies and jobs and career opportunities for historically disadvantaged people. And finally, to provide learning opportunities to emerging firms so they are equipped with the necessary tools to compete as primes or tier 1 subs on tollway contracts. So we are very intentional within my leadership team, of making sure that we are on the front line of making sure there are opportunities that are offered by the tollway for small and diverse firms, and to grow those firms so that they could then advance and graduate into mid-level and then larger firms to really transition wealth, to their families and to our communities. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to lead at this time of the tollway, to bring forth some of our dynamic diversity programs. So at this time, I'd like to really invite Terry Miller to share more information about what the tollway offers. So Terry, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much, Cassandra, and thank you everyone for having me today. I hope you can hear me clearly because the message is very important. The Tollway's diversity programs are designed to help small and diverse businesses reach their full potential. Now, we want to do that, but at the same time, we want to open doors for economic opportunity for men and women interested in construction industry careers. Now, today's presentation will provide sort of a general overview on our core programs, from our newest program, the Small Business Initiative, which we launched in 2021, to our oldest program, the Earning Credit Program, which was established in the year 2005. So we're going to start off with the Small Business Program. You can turn to the next slide. And next slide after that. Now, the Tollway Small Business Initiative provides new prime and subcontracting opportunities that are exclusive for registered small businesses. And unlike your traditional small business sort of set-aside contracts we advertise, nearly all the SBI contracts have DBE goals and minimum self-performance goals, both to help give diverse contractors opportunities to gain experience while delivering Move Illinois program contracts on our behalf. We treat them like they're a prime because they are primes in these smaller contracts. Now, Small Business Initiative contracts, they fall into 3 tiers: $1 million or less, $1 to $3 million, and $3 to $5 billion. And in order to perform on a Small Business Initiative contract, both primes and subs must be registered small businesses with the state of Illinois and enrolled in the Tollway's SBI program. And registering in this Tollway's SBI program is pretty straightforward and simple. I do believe we ask an additional 5 questions. Now, we're excited about this program because it has provided the type of work necessary to allow small businesses to grow and to succeed as either a prime or a sub. Could we go to the next slide, please? No. All of the Tollway Small Business Initiative projects are covered by something called ROSIP, or short for Rolling Owner Controlled Insurance Program. In talking with the DBE community, the Tollway's insurance requirement of $25 million in general liability insurance for mainline work was initially identified as a significant barrier towards participating in our contracts. Therefore, we established the ROSIP program to address this challenge straight on. The ROSIP program not only creates a level playing field for small businesses, but it does so without diminishing or creating any additional risk to the tollway, all at a cost that's effective because the tollway can purchase insurance at a lower rate than small businesses could do on their own. Let's move to the next slide. So the question becomes, how has the Small Business Initiative program fared since being launched in early 2021? That's a fair question. You want to see how well something does, you follow the money. Membership in the Tollway Small Business Initiative program has grown and it continues to grow. As of now, we've registered more than 200 firms in the program, of which more than 70% are DBE or veteran-owned firms. Now, let me make this clear. Though we have 200 firms and it represents significant growth, it's not enough. We need more firms, and we're looking for you to help us find additional firms, particularly if you know folks that are in the heavy highway construction or an ancillary field. Electricians are always needed. Firms with a background in concrete, asphalt, cement, those firms are always needed and always welcome. And applying for the SBI program is a very straightforward program and a very straightforward thing to do. And the incentive is there as well, because over the past 2+ years, the Tollway has awarded nearly $80 million in SBI contracts. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the TA program. Let's go to the next slide. Since the year 2013, the Tollways Technical Assistance Program has prepared hundreds of small, diverse, and veteran-owned construction firms to compete for contracting opportunities in the heavy highway construction industry by providing a comprehensive business training and development, the kind of expertise they need to help emerging small businesses take their companies to the next level. Now, the services here they have two important characteristics you need to know. The services are customized. They're customized to assess the strengths, the weaknesses, the challenge, and the needs of every participating firm. And the program is tailored to suit the needs and the level of commitment by each client, which is important because there is no one-size-fits-all approach to growth. So the first thing you need to know is that the assistance you get is customized. And while it may be your first bid, it's not the first bid of your TA. Well, it may be your first attempt to get bonding, it's not the first attempt to get bonding by our TA. While it may be your first time learning our B2G system, these guys know that backwards and forwards. And while the TA program has helped construction contractors for a decade, we're proud to announce that the program has expanded last year to begin providing business development and support services for professional services providers as well. Now, we can go to the next slide, please. Our providers, and there are two, Intercity Underwriting and the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, they offer guidance and feedback to help businesses improve operations, to increase efficiency, and at the end of the day, just become better businesses. Now, some examples of assistance included can range from assisting with bids to assisting with the drafting of statements of interest, to securing bonds, to the lines of credit, to obtaining key certifications, or even IDOT pre-qualifications, up to post-award services like training for the Tollways electric documentation system and assistance with project scheduling and contract submittals. Increasingly, as we develop a deeper and deeper bench, we realize that it's no longer getting the small business or the diverse business to the contract, it's getting them through the contract. Understanding that what we want to do is set you up for success, not with your initial contract, but set you up with so much success that you'll have 5 or 6 or 7 contracts to the point where you're no longer in need of technical assistance, no longer in need of mentoring, and you're probably capable of mentoring someone else. But those are always steps that we take down the road. From the start to the finish, it's important to note that the technical assistance program providers will be with you every step of the way. They will help you compete for work. They will help you perform back office support. And the best thing of all is that these services are free to you, the firm. It's important to know that these services will come to you at no cost to you. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Again, the measure is always made in the money. As for how the program has fared in the first quarter alone of 2023, more than 40 Illinois tollway bids were submitted by TA clients. Nearly $13 million was awarded on tollway contracts, and nearly $2 million was awarded on non-tollway contracts to TA clients. Let's turn our attention to our next program, which is our Partnering for Growth program. There you go. No, the best way to begin any discussion about Partnering for Growth is to state the overall success of the program. And let me just put this simply. Participation in the P4G program has proven to be the most effective strategy for small and diverse firms seeking to become prime contractors or consultants at the tollway. We've all heard the expression, you can't get the job unless you get the experience. You can't get the experience unless you get the job. Well, here you get the experience by learning from someone who's got it. Now, the P4G program encourages contractors and consultants to assist small, diverse, and veteran-owned businesses in remaining self-sufficient, competitive, and of course, profitable. It works through agreements, and the agreements are flexible. In some case, the protege wants to learn how to get an IDOT pre-qualification in a new discipline. In other cases, the protege wants to learn how to improve back office operations, how to address safety or other technical concerns, or address business development or building relationships with clients and agencies. And that's what the relationship is designed to do. In many of these relationships, on one side of our house, the construction side, there are bid credits. And professional services, it's all part of the evaluation of the statement of interest. Let's change to the next slide. Now, through the Partnering for Growth program, the sub-consultant works on a specific tollway contract on agreed upon scope. This scope either helps expand the sub-consultants or contractors' existing capabilities, or helps them establish a new area of expertise for the firm. The experience gained on the tollway projects, especially for new firms, is vital to learning our expectations of project delivery and improving exposure to tollway staff. The P4G program provides sort of the kind of experience and exposure necessary for firms to build up so that they can compete for larger, more complex and critical tollway projects sort of down the road. Now, since the launch of our P4G, or Partnering for Growth professional services program, more than 200 agreements have been executed. And more importantly, nearly 50 sub-consultants have gone from protege to winning a prime contract after participating in the Partnering for Growth relationship. Now, that's important to note. So I don't want to gloss past that too quickly. Of these 200 agreements, 50 firms have moved on to doing their work as prime. This suggests that P4Gs are working. Now let's talk about Construction Partnering for Growth program, which operates in a completely different manner, but already achieving similar results and has had success. So let's move on next slide. Okay. Now, Partnering for Growth relationships on the construction side of the house are term-based, from as little as 12 to as many as 60 months. This enables partnering contractors to continue working on areas of development without being contingent upon the terms and conditions of a specific contract or specific milestones or specific dates. Contractors also have the flexibility to determine areas of assistance, including business planning, project management, financial consulting or counseling and bonding, equipment utilization, and submitting quotes. Since launching the construction program in 2018, more than $4 million More than $4 million in bid credits have been awarded to firms for these agreements, and nearly 30 agreements have been executed. We're going to go to the next slide. The next slide talks about emerging technologies. On the construction side, we've launched a very successful new initiative that's helping small and diverse contractors stay current with industry trends and ensure small businesses remain competitive on future contracting opportunities at the tollway. Now, through our emerging technology initiative, the tollway has partnered with larger construction firms and equipment manufacturers to provide virtual and hands-on training sessions with equipment such as three-dimensional modeling for construction grading and closed-circuit TV cameras used on the tollway system. In addition, the tollway has advertised several contracts exclusively for small business that feature this technology and included incentives to offset the cost of renting or even purchasing the equipment. And before we move on to workforce development, I think this is very important because quite often this is cutting edge technology. And this gives these small and diverse firms a leg up on cutting edge technology. The other thing is I've noticed on many of these contracts, three-dimensional modeling, for example, as soon as the class ends, there's a contract that follows that people have been very aggressive in terms of bidding for them. And quite often you'll get 6 or 7 of these firms that just competed in the class to compete for the contract. And that's a sign that we are building competition and we're building stronger firms. Now, We're going to transition from talking about building strong firms to building people. Strong people who need jobs. So we're going to go to the next slide, please. Now, as the construction season gets underway, we're moving ahead with our efforts to increase diverse participation in our construction workforce. And since the year 2018, the Tollway's Construction Works program has provided pre-apprenticeship training and critical support services such as paying for tools and equipment and testing fees, and even providing child care and transportation to prepare underrepresented men and women for construction industry careers. In addition, the Tollway's Earned Credit program has incentivized contractors to hire and retain historically underrepresented men and women for career opportunities in the construction field since 2006. Now, through the Earned Credit program, contractors earn bid credits, which is digital dollars. And when they hire from a pool of eligible candidates, including underemployed African Americans, Hispanics, Asian Americans, women, eligible offenders, and exonerated individuals, veterans, and other economically disadvantaged individuals, they also earn credit. ECP is race and gender neutral. Candidate eligibility is determined through Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act income guidelines. Let's turn to the next slide, please. So how is that working? This year alone, nearly 55 construction work candidates have been hired, including 3 hired specifically for Illinois Tollway projects. And they've earned nearly $355,000 in wages. Meanwhile, with ECP, well, nearly 10 people have been hired and retained by construction contractors earning more than $805,000 in wages. These ECP hires have accumulated more than $25,000 in bid credits that may be used by the hiring contractor to offset future bids. Now let's talk a little bit about our outreach efforts to engage additional DBE firms. I'm proud to announce that the Tollway will be hitting the road to recruit new men and women to enroll in the Construction Works program. Earlier this year, we attended a recruitment event where more than 50 individuals enrolled in Construction Works, beginning their journey on a new career. We're looking forward to our next stop. And our next stop will be at the Victory Apostolic Church in Matson tomorrow, July 12th, where Tollway staff and representatives from our Construction Works vendors will be on hand to provide program overview, answers to questions, and of course, to enroll participants. Participants are invited to network with the Tollway staff and to connect with the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnerships to learn more, specifically how to access a network of experienced career and pre-apprenticeship training partners, how to connect with key industry resources, how to identify support services and the training available. Now, there will be 2 sessions. The first session will be held at 12 o'clock, and the second session will be held at 6 o'clock. Now, to register, just scan the QR codes on the screen. If you have anyone who's interested or anyone you think could benefit from attending this, please. There's more than enough capacity for you to invite as many people as you like. So I hope to see as many folks as you can invite to both of these sessions. I will be in attendance at both. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, please turn to the next slide, is our webinar series. This began as a way to stay connected with the small business community during the pandemic, and has grown into a regular series of webinars highlighting topics of interest and providing critical training and networking opportunities for small and disadvantaged businesses. Now, the webinars are intended to discuss current Tollway diversity programs and initiatives, to provide business improvement advice, and to allow us to partner with sister agencies like IDOT and CDB. I have to tell you, our programs with IDOT are incredibly popular. The webinars have truly become sort of a critical tool to our diversity department as we try to engage businesses. Since July 2020, more than 2,500 people have attended one of our webinars. Let's please, next slide, please. Now, for more information on any of our programs highlighted today, please visit illinoistollway.com, and we're going to look forward to working with you. Now, I'll talk a little bit about upcoming contracts in the Move Illinois program. We'll move to the next slide, please. The Tollways website is sort of the ultimate resource for information on contracting opportunities in construction, professional services, and goods and services. From your left to your right, these are the bid letting schedules, the professional service bulletin, and the buying plan. There are QR codes that will link you to each one of these sites. The bid letting schedule includes tentative advertisement dates, pre-bid conference dates, the size, magnitude, scopes, and locations of upcoming construction contract opportunities. The professional service bulletin advertises all the engineering opportunities, including design, construction management, and other professional services needed to maintain the tollway system. The buying plan outlines the goods and services that will be purchased by the tollway, including everything from office supplies to fleet vehicles. So please take your time to explore these opportunities. Now, I realize that was a lot, so thank you very much for your time and your attention today. And I'm going to go back to answer any questions that you may have. I do believe this is where we open it for Q&A.
Well, thank you for that. Gwen, are you still mute? If not, I'll keep going. Let me ask a question. First of all, I wanted to just say that's great information, and I'll start looking in the chat. I wanted to offer, I know as part of the SBA Navigator program, we also have an on-the-road show where we can show up and also bring supportive services. For instance, your Partner for Growth program, as a hub, we focus on teaming agreements or joint ventures for businesses just to help them build capacity. It sounds like, you know, with the work you've done and we learn more about the program, we may be able to help drive businesses to that program, especially if that program has, you know, a boilerplate format agreement that we could review and understand. We may be able as an agency to help. And as Vanessa mentioned, you know, one of the capacity folks is to help with the capability statements and things like that. So I just wanted to mention that. And I don't know if Jennifer wants to chime in on that, Terry, after you respond about.
I would love to take you up on that opportunity. And I say, let's have a conversation offline about how we can work jointly to make sure that we're not missing a beat in terms of showing that there's connectivity here, there's some synergy here, and where maybe your program starts, we can pick up. And of course, anyone working, and I can't say electricians enough. I think you'll probably hear me say the word electrician 1,000 times. Or any GCs that, you know, are interested in maybe migrating from vertical work to heavy highway. We're always looking to produce that kind of work.
We could do that. And Jennifer has she manages that. She did a good program with them. So in addition to where you're going, we can share where we're going and if there's any interest.
Jennifer, you regret having heard that because I'm probably going to end up stalking you.
Yeah, I heard it. Hello.
And let me go to the chat and see if there are any questions in there.
Matthew Pittman has his hand up.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Charles. I apologize. I'm not that great with this thing. So go ahead, Mr. Pitt. Aren't you from Senator Sims' office?
Yes,
Matthew?
we are.
Thank you for joining us.
We have about 11 interns who are also watching this presentation, and this is Sharon Pincham. We're in our conference room and able to share. So thank you for having it on Zoom. Mr. Miller, two things. One thing is, while I know you're encouraging individuals who have construction skills. Do you also diversify in the area of providing insurance for these agencies?
Okay, well, the extent to which we offer insurance is our ROSA program. Now, the ROSA program really is exclusive to the tollway and work done on the tollway. When we originally came to the tollway, we realized in order to do any work on the road, you had to have $25 million worth of insurance. And that was an impediment to many small and diverse businesses. I don't know many firms that walk around with $25 million worth of insurance. So we provide the insurance for them. We buy it at our rate so they don't have to pay for it at their rate. And we make sure that they have the exact same insurance as the larger firms. And this is the program we identified earlier called ROSIP. So they wouldn't be able to use their insurance. Instead, each contract will come with the proviso that they have to use the ROSIP insurance. So ideally, it removes
I guess
as an impediment.
I'm sorry, further into that question, who do you purchase the insurance from? I mean, are those minority contractors, or is that something that is just the state purchase the insurance?
It is a state purchase. However, there is a minority firm that acts as the administrator. They have a role as a sub on the administration of that contract. So yes.
And my last question, Melinda, can we get a copy of this PowerPoint?
Terry, Cassandra, can we get a copy of this PowerPoint to give to the folks that are here?
Sure, I don't see it not. The other thing is, I want to point out that those webinars that I was talking about earlier, they're on our website and you can see them anytime you want. So if you would like, you could probably, well, I think you're recording this one. You could loop this. We'd have no objections to you looping this. If you wanted to loop it on your site or include it on our site, and of course you can have this presentation.
Okay. And I think the partner they use that many of us are from, Matt Cooper. Does everybody in our city is so he's familiar with our challenges and so I think he's and he's been doing this a while. So
yeah. And I'll just highlight that just speaking of the ROSA program, that's something that we brought to the agency a few years ago. But again, how that came to us is through just our interactions with diverse communities and platforms like this, where small firms were identifying what their barriers were. And so we took that information in-house and pushed that through with our development of the ROSA program. So that's why we really appreciate opportunities like this to speak, to hear from you, so that we can continue to address the barriers in the community to make sure that we are making sure that we're deliberate in providing opportunities for small and diverse firms to do business with the tollway.
We also saw in the presentation about the certification. So let's just talk in a little clearer about that. We also help with certification. So the City of Chicago, you mentioned DBE. What about BEP or the other certifications? Do you recommend, let me go back and be specific, because I think somebody asked about the Small Business Initiative certification. Is that separate from the other many certifications that we have? And can you talk about it a little bit?
Let me make this clearer for you. The certification, there's registration. Of course, you'd have to be a certified DBE for your DBE certification. Now, remember, SBI is race and gender neutral. So what we use is as a proxy is size. So in order to participate in this program, you have to be under $14 million. And to verify that, you have to be registered by the state of Illinois as a SBI firm, as a small business initiative firm. So that's the only registration that's required initially, that. And then we have 5 additional questions that I think it would take. I timed myself once to see how slow I could do it. I think it took me a maximum of 5 minutes, and I did it with my left hand and my right eye closed. So I think it doesn't take very long to get those additional 5 questions answered. So you have to be registered with the state's Small Business Initiative, and you have to be registered with the Tollway Small Business Initiative. And if you do that, you're fine.
Okay.
Now, one of the questions that you might ask is, where would I find a link to the small business registration for the state? And you could do that from our website.
Okay.
I hope that answers.
I think it did. I'm looking in this chat. I don't see, I think we did. And let me also, Charles, if I'm missing a hand, go ahead and, or Beverly, go ahead and call them out. No, but I think that sounded You all have been doing great work there. It's so important, you know, with the opportunities we have in Illinois for our businesses to step out. And I think growth can be a fearful thing for a business. So the fact that the agencies, you have CBA, you have the federal government, we are all what I call chomping at the bits for those who are able, like most business owners, to be fearless and to walk out here and go for these contracts, because there's a learning curve. You can't do it by yourself. We recognize that. That's why all of these things are in place. Tracy, you got your hand up, so you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, a comment. I was just wondering, good morning, Chief Miller, Executive Director Rouse. The Tollway website can be a bit overwhelming. Is it possible that you guys could put the links in the chat that make it better accessible for, I see a few staff, I think, are on here for SBI, as well as P4G and TA. If you could put those the links in the comments for us to access the information, we would truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, I have one follow-up to that statement. You couldn't have got a smarter person to make the smarter recommendation in the world. Tracy has been so instrumental to the Tollway and our development of these programs, from ROSIP to the SBI. Little known secret, I guess, is that Tracy was my right hand for 2 years, and I got to tell you, Tracy is amazing, and that was a great recommendation. And I'm used to being spoiled by great recommendations like that from Tracy. So thank you for being here. Thank you for that recommendation.
Yes, thank you, Tracy. Good to see you here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I miss you guys.
Miss you too.
Once they're in the chat, we will also send it with the presentation. We'll resend them with the link if they put them in the chat. But that website navigation can be, and again, that's sort of why we're here. Sometimes we sit with different businesses, and if that's what you want to do, or because we want you to focus on your business, let us help you navigate to where you need to be and send you the link. That's what organizations like ours do. Because again, it's all about supporting you. I am a big supporter of teaming agreements and joint ventures. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why we focus on them a lot. It helps build capacity. Learning from someone who's already done it or who is doing the same path. Once you get those in place, it just makes it your probability for success higher. And that's what this all is about. That's really what this all is about. So we thank the Tollway for coming out to be here. And the most important thing, I just think it's great to have a name to a face. I see Ms. Griffin's hands up, so she can.
Yes, we have Deborah Anderson.
Yeah, up first.
Wait,
Thank you.
1 second. Wait, let me let Ms. Griffin go, and then I see Ms. Anderson, so I'll take it in that order. Is that okay?
Deborah's hand was up first. I'll go second. Thank you, Melinda.
Okay, Deborah.
Oh, hi. Good morning, everyone. Hi. Thank you guys, Cassandra and Terry, for that great presentation. My company, I'm going to be a little bit, I guess, selfish at this point. My company, Cruise Planners, we are a media representation company for a minority-owned radio station. All this construction information is awesome, but how do we, as media partners, get a part of this as a diversity, and how can we get part of your dollars that are earmarked for getting the information out? I mean, it's one thing to spread this information through organizations like Chatham Business Association, which is great, but how does the public at large learn about this information? And I believe that's where we come in. So quickly, who do we talk to? How do we become a part of your media mix?
Okay, I guess I'll take that one. And I think the best approach to it is, you know, each one of our sort of buying approaches follows a different mechanism. There's construction, which has bid letting schedules. There's a professional service bulletin, but you fall sort of in the goods and services plan idea. Now, I would ask, are you part of the states? Do you get the state's procurement information from bid buy? Are you part of the bid buy system?
No, we're not.
I think that's the first thing you correct. And the second thing you correct is I think you look at our buying guide. The great thing about the buying guide is it's not just our buying guide. The state has a buying guide that has all the agencies, and each agency will have different needs. Now, of course, 90% of our needs will be like building roads, and in the professional services are tied to building roads, but we still need pins and we still need paper and we need things like that. So I would look for the buying guide to see where you fit in the niche of our needs. Now, here's the thing where I do have to tell you, if we don't need it, we don't buy it. You know,
Right.
no one can sell us grocers of cookies, you know, because we don't buy cookies. But I would
Right.
say look in the buying guide for where we have a need for your services. But the great thing about that is the state's buying guide. It's not only us, it's all the agencies. Also make sure that you're on bid buy. So when there's a need out there, the need is one that you see, because sometimes they'll have a need that pops up out of nowhere. Right now, you're not being informed of that at all. So information is power. You want to give yourself more power, more information, more leverage, more opportunities. Okay.
Thank you.
So
There
we
was
will
one-
make,
I think Lanya has her hand up.
yes, yes.
I do. Thank you so much, Terry and Cassandra and all the Tollway team. You know, I love you guys so much, for real. So I understand some of the challenges firsthand of being there. You guys recently had your meeting about the disparity study, and Black firms and construction organizations continue to trail terribly and miserably behind our counterparts. And so I know on construction side, it is a low bid environment that is sometimes challenging for smaller firms to meet that. On professional services, which, you know, Transland and Acclaim Collier Engineering are both seeking tollway opportunities, it becomes about selection and how to get yourself those opportunities. So what advice can you give for firms like ours, and B Squared, obviously, as well? How can we get better opportunities and to become members, primes primarily of tollway work?
Okay,
So Terry,
excellent.
do you want to talk about the meet and greets and also the opportunity for debriefs?
Oh, absolutely. You sort of beat me to it. That's exactly where I was going. We offer networking opportunities that some of the other departments of transportation don't offer. I would say everyone wants to take advantage of a debrief after a bid, no matter what, because one of the things it does is it puts you right there in front of us, and it gives you a chance to tell us things that we need to know about you. And after every bid, I would encourage that. The other thing is maximize the chance to go through the networking sessions, and even the web series is great for us. But I think also the thing that we do is we continually have a need and to unbundle work, and we need to be conscious of how we unbundle work to make sure the work is accessible and that it's plentiful. But even there's a unique balance. And there is no perfect solution for this. It's more of an art than a science, where you say, okay, should this be 5 $2 million contracts, or should this be 1 $10 million contract? So as long as we're constantly aware that we got to have this balance, that keeps us that keeps us trying. And I just think raising visibility and awareness is one of the things that you can do. And just keeping the pressure on us to keep aggressive unbundling is the other thing I think we can do. And of course, take advantage of the programs that we have to offer. I was at Move Illinois Quarterly the other day, and I asked everyone who had participated in a P4G to stand up. And there are a lot of people standing, but guess what? A lot of people sitting too. So I think we've offered a unique tool in professional services that's really great, and that's the reverse P4G. Where the small firm can lead, and they can bring in a larger firm for a small piece of the work too. So I think it's many firms take, well, I don't want to lead, I just want to be somebody's sub-consultant. But where there's a unique opportunity for you to lead or be a part of a team, take it. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you so much, Terry.
You're welcome.
And Cassandra, I know you guys work really, really hard at providing the opportunities. It's really about getting down to the selection committee and the tiered approach, and making sure they are aware of the initiatives that are provided by the leadership. You know, the $4 million CUR should not be going to the large white-owned firms. So thanks for that.
Yeah. And I'll just emphasize that even on the selection committee side, we do, we are very intentional about making sure we have a diversified selection committee, and that, individuals that are on those committees are just aware of, what our programs are, what our initiatives are. And of course, they know what our needs are. So we, work really hard at that, and thank you, Lanye.
If I can also add this one thing, since we've been there, diversity is on literally every iteration, every tier of the selection process. And I don't think that was always the case, but it is the case now. So it's important that on every tier of the selection process, diverse and small businesses have an advocate.
Yep. It sounds good. Deborah, I think you asked your question. I think you just left your hand up. Would that be correct? I think so. Let's assume that. I think that debriefing is very important too, because you know what the thing is that sometimes when you're going after things, and we always encourage the businesses, let's find out. Failures help us understand what programs we need to make as an organization and create, and what are real obstacles, and when government is getting in the way of business or vice versa. So those debriefing sessions, or if you apply for something and it doesn't happen, if it doesn't work out, we'll go with you with your debriefing. We'll help you figure it out so that we can help correct to the best of our ability anything that can be done. That's where you sort of determine, do you partner? What do I do next? So those are very important and time consuming, but I'm glad you're doing them.
Can I ask, I just want to give one more piece of advice relative to debriefing. Debriefs should not be about making yourself feel good. It's about identifying what you did wrong. And you can't be afraid of a question that's going to say, here's what you did wrong. I see a lot of people ask the question, hey, how did I score? And I think that's a good question, great question. Break it down to its constituent parts. How was my engineering? How was my diversity score? I think, don't be afraid to ask those questions, because quite often they're illuminating, which means once you get that answer, you don't make that mistake twice.
And that's the most important part. It's too much energy that you all put in your business, that you invest, that we don't want you to repeat it. That's not worth your time and energy, and all this costs money. So Jennifer, I know you had other announcements. I think we covered all the chat. So I'm going to ask everybody to hit their reaction button and give these wonderful people a clap here for joining us today from the Tollway. They brought everybody out. They have given us tons of links. The wonderful staff here, who should say hi while we're doing this. From Linda, everybody should say hi. They've already told me they're capturing information from the chat. So if you registered for this meeting as a business owner, you're going to get the presentation. They had some QR codes from some other things that were in their presentation. We'll highlight those, and then we're going to bring those links, and we'll send you all of those in a nice little email for yourself.
That's right, Melinda. And I'll just chime in. We're also going to send you the quick reference finance guide and a calendar of events, the following member meetings that are happening for August and September. So yeah, we got a lot to send over to you.
That finance guide that this team put together is amazing. It is. I'm sorry, did you say something, Terry?
I want to know, can I be included on your email list? I don't think I am, and I would love to be on your email list. I don't do business, but
absolutely.
I'd still like to be there.
The team led by our banking board of members, Carl Riley and PNC Sean Boone, really, they had the presentation of all the lenders come in, and what we've done is sort of made it easier, sort of like the buying guide. You're doing this lender is more amenable to it. Is this your size, your company? And it's electronic. So and we put it together. So if you have a question and you're scared to ask them, directly come to us first. Maybe we can help you. And it's the same with the Tollway. As you step out on this process, feel free to reach out. We would love to be on your business team, your coach as you go through this process, and bring the other spokes and their expertise on. Jen?
If there's any opportunity for us at the Tollway to partner on any of your, events or activities or forums, please, reach out and we'd be glad to partner.
Yes,
Oh,
because
absolutely. Yeah.
we're on the road. We've taken it to Rockford and everything. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe we should change schedules, and then maybe we can support where you are. And as Terry said, pick up or drop off or get out of the way when we're there, or add. It just can't be, the demand is so great. It just can't be too much. And then we also are going to send you, Cassandra and Terry, a flyer of the different spokes and their specialties. So we have one that we have focusing on all the types of certifications, expanding codes, looking at existing certifications, looking at your capacity, your ability to navigate through the website. And CBA focuses a lot on relationships because we think that's an important part of growth. You got to know where to go to get what you want. And time is of the essence, and who's doing it well, and who will make you feel comfortable or make you feel successful as you go through this, very challenging, scary process, but wonderful when it pays off.
Yes. Agreed.
To that
Terry,
end,
I see your hand up.
to that end, I want to add one last commercial, and that is, again, I can't help it. I'm shamelessly self-promoting this opportunity. We have something called access training for electricians. You'll drive by the expressway, you'll see these cameras mounted on these electric poles. Well, we're teaching electricians how to do that. Again, I would like to see as many electrical firms in that classroom. Last time I went, there were 23. There's no reason I can't get 50 with your help. So access training to put cameras on those light poles. And remember, we're light years ahead of many departments of transportation. And so I think there are going to be millions of dollars in contracts doing this. And I went to the first training, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm not great when it comes to electricity, but I walked out of there thinking I could do it. So tell you, we need electricians, Black folks, to go on up electric and do this. And I can tell you, I worked for ComEd. It's simpler than the work they do for ComEd. So this is work that we're training you how to do it. This is an emerging technology, P4G opportunity. And generally what happens after we do one of these things is generally there are contracts that may or may not come up. But what happens is this: learn how to do it first. That's really essential. And any help you can give us in finding electricians that want to have access training, we're actually having access to manufacture do it for us. So, and that's coming up fairly soon. So please help us find folks who can do that, and we'll be grateful.
We will on that. And I'll do another plug for the partner agreement, because one of these things about, we worked a lot on the Mentor Protege agreements. You can have someone train you to do estimating, just so many different. So my point is, and I did ask, but we'll double check. Usually they're boilerplated, but we can literally hone in specifically. If you want to be at the table with another company bidding, as opposed to, we hear sometimes you're on a team and you're in the back room and you don't know what's going on. We can make it in writing so that you are where you need to be, learning what you need to do so that it is really worth it. So we can really make those valuable, those partner agreements, and we can help assist with that. So having said that, is that it for the team in terms of what's coming up and what's going on? Did we cover everything? I think we did. So what I will do is then I'm going to adjourn the meeting at the moment. And again, everyone registered to the meeting will get the information. If you're not, what I do recommend is that you email Beverly. I think I put her chat in there, her information in there, her phone number. You call the office, you get her. A couple of things can happen. One, she'll have you fill out the SBA Navigator Form program, which is simple questions. It's like 5 or 6 questions that automatically allows us to begin working with you and provide whatever services for free. It will also, and even if you're not registered and you reach out to us, we'll get the information to you. We can help you just as you continue to be successful entrepreneurs. So we just thank everyone for joining us today. We think that Tollway team, you really brought them out in full force. And what was the name of the person who's over the DBE on your team? She's over the DBE businesses?
Do you mean the SBI program or?
No, I thought you had a DBE manager, I thought you said, but maybe not.
Oh,
Did you tell me that?
there's several, and they're online now. One's Kristen Bennett, one's Marlene Vick. Lorena Perez is also online here. Siobhan Moore is also online here. And Lily Hashem, my email, is also online. So any one of those. And we'll give you a.
Okay, sounds good. So if there's no other questions or comments, we're going to adjourn this meeting and thank you again.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
So you got everything you needed?
I do.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Charles, Beverly, Lorinda, Gloria, the team. We love you. I love you. I can't live without you.
No problem. I'll be in the office shortly, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we will see you soon. Have a good day.
Okay. All right.